Hello, fellow YouTubers and all the Sonic fans out there. Now, I'm sure everybody has, heard all the hype over Sonic Generations. Which, by the way, we have a shitload of good games coming out recently. We have Skyward Sword, we got Skyrim, we have Battlefield 3. I'm not going to talk about shooters because I frankly don't know anything about them too much. But I know Battlefield 3 has been given a lot of credit to compete with Modern Warfare 3. We have Ultimate Wall versus Capcom. Capcom still trolling, and all the goodies. We're in our video game renaissance. There's good shit left and right, and I don't know what the hell to buy. But because I'm a Sonic fan, I had to pick up Generations. I've been buying every Sonic game that's come out beyond since Unleashed. I've been buying every Sonic game that has come out. So this one I was hoping was gonna be it. This was gonna be the big comeback, and you know what? It was. It finally was. It's been years since my mind has been blown away, and we finally have it. We finally have that Sonic game that the fans will explode over, and even other people are giving it attention. People who always say shit about Sonic games. Excuse me there. What to say about Generations? Okay. Well, this will be both a review and some thoughts on the future for Sonic. But I'll just start off with the review. Story of Generations is very simple. There's some sort of creature causing a rift in the space-time continuum, and Sonic meets up with his past self. You know the story by now. And the Sonics have to speed through all the levels in their past and, bring the life back to all the levels and ultimately stop this evil force that you find out, what it is and shit later. It's a basic story. It's nothing like Sonic Adventure 2 or there hasn't been a serious Sonic story in a long time that's been good. And you know what? If Sega wants to play it safe and not do something like '06 where it's just trying to be serious, or like Shadow the Hedgehog and it's just not working and ends up being ultimately silly, fine. I don't mind. The side characters don't show up that much. The voice actors have, all been clearly established. Roger Craig Smith, I believe, is, hope I didn't get the name wrong, is Sonic's voice actor. I'm assuming for good now, since he's been in several games already. All the voices are pretty much, this is it. I think these are the people we're going to have for the next couple of years. And I'll get into that with my thoughts on Sonic, I guess. Now to go into the graphics. Visually, the game is stunning. I've had so many different environments. Everything is just perfectly created. You can see all the stuff in the distance. Everything close up is just, there's nothing that they lazed out on, is what I'm trying to get at. When you burst into speed, the visuals blur, but not so much that you can't tell what's going on. And after you play the levels, 2 or 3 times, you should know where all the shortcuts are. And you'll find out more along the way. But it should be enough that you can respond in time. The control. The control is usually fluid. I have had a couple issues every once in a while with the control being a bit unresponsive or a bit delayed. It happens. Unfortunately, it does take away from the experience at times, but it's not a constant problem. It'll happen once in a while. So the game's usually perfectly fine. It's very fluid. You have very tight control in the drift. There's none of those weird drifts like they had in Unleashed that would ultimately cause you to fall off unless you completely slowed down. The switch between the two Sonics is fine. It's just the Act 1, Act 2, and then you're done with the level. The bosses, well, now I'll just get into the overall gameplay. The bosses, there's very few. Well, there's rival fights and there's boss fights. The rival fights are all very, very fun. I don't want to spoil the rival fights, but they're all pretty much high-speed chases, and they combine all the old elements very well with the new gameplay style. Overall, the level design is great. The levels from the recent games don't really differ too much, and especially the last one feels really dragged out, just because the game it's from Colors. It wasn't the best choice, I guess. But for the most part, the last whole third of the game is kind of weird, because there's an '06 level that's pretty cool, but it's still kind of eh. Then there's an Unleashed level, which is Very cool, actually. That one was fine. I like that one. And then there's a Sonic Colors level. It's just kind of, yeah, okay. But it's otherwise all the other stages are just unbelievable, amazing. Blew my mind. Just my jaw dropped. I couldn't believe how fantastic they looked, the design, everything. The music in the game is all remixed tracks from before, and Sega efficiently uses every single song they have here. I mean, they have other songs you can select from other games to just play over the actual remix, but the remixes are great. I mean, even the '06 level is cool. And that's the only time anything Sonic '06 related will probably be any good. Um, let's see, what else? And, yeah, overall, who would I recommend the game to? For Sonic fans, I would say this is a must. Like, you should buy this if you're a huge Sonic fan. If you're an old school Sonic fan, then you'll probably like, the old Sonic. I was born more around the Dreamcast era, so I'm more adjusted to the 3D games and I'm more favoring modern Sonic, but I still like playing as old school Sonic. He's quite a badass little fat dude. He can hold his own for sure. And the new Sonic levels just if you like the way the Unleashed games worked, which I did, and I know a lot of people love the daytime stages, then you're gonna have a lot of fun with it. It's the control; they're really starting to get it right. It's still a little slippery, but nowhere near as bad as where Unleashed, where I could barely move left and right without flying off in some direction. So I don't want to give the game like a 1 to 10 rating. I'm just gonna say for Sonic fans, buy it. For other people who aren't exactly diehard Sonic fans but are looking for a game to try, I would rent it. It's a very short game. I beat it pretty quickly. I spent about 2 days on it and I was done. There's some mission modes after you beat 3 stages before you fight a boss. And you have to do 3 missions. It does drag out the game a bit and slows down the pace, but you can pick which mission, and not all of them are severely annoying to go through. So it doesn't mess it up that much, and it's okay. The game's still too short though. Even with that, I would say maybe I don't know. I guess they really couldn't add so much more considering they just picked one thing from about every game they could that made sense. So Generations honestly did blow my mind away as a Sonic fan. There's little bits of dialogue that just are such inside fan jokes. Then there's the dialogue is still a little cheesy, like how Colors was, like baldy big nose hair kind of stuff. You know, but what can I say? I guess Sega just hasn't had the same writers they used to. Um, so that's my full opinion on Generations. Let's see. Now, as for Sonic's general future, I don't know what to think. I mean, Sega's really gotten better and better at this point. They had this really horrible just peak of crap at '06, and then Unleashed came out, and they were getting better, but the Werehog thing was dumb. And then Colors came out, and that was overall good, but I didn't know what to say. I didn't do a review on Colors just because I didn't know what to think of it. I had no problems with the game, but there was nothing extremely exciting about Colors that really was so long lasting for me, and I haven't played it ever since. It's this weird middle ground. Like they're kind of getting there, but they're just not doing it. But Generations just did it. Generations is exactly the kind of thing that we needed to really get Sonic up there again. Now, more games come out like this, I'll be perfectly satisfied. I mean, it was great. It was, if I had to give it a number rating, probably like 8 out of 10 area. Maybe even a 9 if you're like a Sonic fan. It's not perfect. It's not completely perfect. I'm not gonna lie, and it's not even in my top 5. It's not above Adventure or Adventure 2 or 3 and Knuckles for me. None of that, because the game doesn't have completely new elements to offer, because it is based on those old stages. It is a great nostalgia fest, but it does make me wonder what kind of things will be in Sonic's future. If they're still using this engine and this gameplay style, I would love to see more of this. I have been very happy with the way colors look. I mean, well, colors look nice, but that was a bit too slow. But I love how quick the game really is on the PlayStation 3. I've tried it on the 360. I don't know. I don't know if it's really that much different. PlayStation 3 is very fluid. Sometimes there is a weird bit of lag actually, but I don't know how often that's happened for anybody else. Uh, Overall, good game. Good job, Sega. Hope to see more of this. The voices, by the way, are fine. I mean, I know somebody's gonna have to get into that eventually, so let me just say it now. The voices are fine. We don't have any Jason Griffith horror levels of voice acting here, and all the other side character voices are good. Rouge does not sound like a horror anymore. Shadow doesn't sound totally emo. Tails sounds fine for his age. Yeah, everyone's everyone's fine. I was totally satisfied with it. There wasn't too much dialogue really for me to critique the voice acting, but from the bits I did hear, it sounds like they've got it together. They didn't really give us any hints also for a future type of Sonic game, so I really don't know what to expect next in Sega's lineup. I'm hoping no more Sonic Riders bullshit or some sort of, spin-off about Amy for all we know with crazy ideas they come up with. But my to condense this all into one sentence, Sonic fans rejoice. We have now reached our possible comeback of the Big Blue, and I hope to see more of this. I hope to hear everyone else's thoughts, and happy birthday, Sonic.